to grow into the tattoo artist that you are now?
Well, it was, I mean, Red was like, he's kind of hard. You know, he wasn't like a real soft teacher. He was no nonsense. This is what I'm telling you to do what I say. And that was it. It was, so, I mean, you had to, and I don't know if it was like he was trying us, because I was apprenticing with another guy. So I don't know if he was like trying us to see if we were going to stay. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, I think he just like thinking back on it. Maybe he was like, I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna tell them, and maybe if it's not for them, they'll leave. So, you know, and I think at that moment in my life too, I didn't have any options. You know, I was married. I had 3 children, and they were young, and I was the only one bringing in the income, which was really nothing, especially, you know, apprenticing, because I wasn't.
Right.
He was training me for free. So I had to find ways to make money and still pay bills and still be at the shop, you know, to learn, because we didn't tattoo. I didn't pick up a machine for a long time, because in Atlanta you have to have a permit, like an actual city permit. You have to go in, at the time we had to go in front of a board of the city over this, you know, and they kind of like interrogate you to see if you are. It was like if you tattooing gang members or whatnot, because that's weird. I didn't grow up around gangs or anything, so they were doing that. So you had to do that, and they were asking you these questions. So we had to learn this stuff. We had to learn these books. You know, Red had this little pamphlet about tattooing we had to study. So they would ask us these things. So we didn't touch a machine or anything for a long time. You know, we just were breaking down, setting up for him, you know, all day, every day. Too, because he was by himself, you know, almost, you know. Yeah, because the artist at the time had left him. So he was in a shop that was kind of heavy at the time, real busy, and it was just him. You know, he was waiting on some artists to come in, but it was just him and 2 apprentices. So we were, you know, busy pretty much the whole day, you know. So, but as far as like the him teaching us to be hard, just the way he taught, I think it made me kind of I guess like real thinking like in an old school way, because I see how a lot of tattoo artists are today, and just thinking how Red is, I take a lot of his coloring on in dealing with people. I don't know if it's just me, maybe, you know, but it's really like no nonsense type of when you're dealing with customers. That's what I'm saying. I had somebody ask me one time, like, why are you so serious? And it's like, it's not that I'm being serious. It's just like we talking business. So we could start laughing after the business is explained, and then we could joke. I have no problem with joking with anybody, but let's make sure everything is on the square. You know, we talking business, and the business is taken care of. Oh, somebody going on.
Get the key to the house.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
No problem.
No, you good. You good. She
but,
like, sorry.
That's funny. But yeah, you know, but with Red, you know, he's very, you know, and I kind of take that coloring on with people, because you know, you just be dealing with the money, and it's dealing with cash money and not having like a set price is weird to me. It's almost like drug deal, because you know, like when you go into a department store, you see the price, and people don't haggle with department stores. It's like you see this purse is $2,000, and these shoes are $300. You're not going to the front counter like, look, man, I got $10, I have $5, you know. So that's the thing with tattooing, is like, we need to get this out the way where you're comfortable, I'm comfortable, and I can create with ease. So let's just get the foolishness out the way first. So that's So dealing with that as far as my mental, I think that's where I am. That's where I get it from. Just happen to be kind of no nonsense and trying to and find a medium where I can also be lighthearted with it, which is
Yeah.
kind of it's a heavy balance as far as I'm concerned. Just trying to do.
No, I think it
mm,
is. A lot of people don't talk about that balance of like, I think tattoo is in a very special place, even more than most other art forms, where literally you have to talk about price first. And it does feel like drug dealing because literally you end up, it's almost like people expect the price from the last tattoo another person got that may not be
right,
comparable, and then also may not be comparable to like the piece, the idea, the artist. You know what I mean? And
right,
they're like, but I got this. They got that sleeve for $50. Okay, skirt. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not you ain't paying no sleeve for them $50. All
Hmm.
right. It's like, no, man.
Yeah.
Or the quality of the work. It's even like with something that's small, they'll be like, well, that should cost that. And I'm like, well, how do you know what it
What
should
it's
cost?
cost.
Right. That should cost that. And it's like, what is it? Well, that's just a name. But it's
Yeah.
a tattoo. It's a tattoo, regardless to if it's a name. Because they're trying to judge it like, well, that shouldn't be that much.
Yeah.
And I've tried to find a medium like, well, the tattoo is you're paying me for my time,
Yeah. And
so
something
don't worry.
permanent, like
Huh?
literally. And you're
What
paying
you
for
say?
something permanent, like
Right.
literally, you know? Like
Right.
I use the and Chris got me on this, using that you don't go in and haggle with a heart surgeon when you need your heart fixed. Like when you
Exactly.
actually, you don't haggle. I mean, it's weird because people will haggle for even like, what is that, plastic surgery and all that stuff. And it's just like, but this is stuff that literally will affect you for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Right.
How do you haggle for that in the first place? But then you'll like go out and you'll buy like Louis, you'll buy Gucci, you'll buy like Prada, no problem. Like
No
whatever
problem.
price
No
tag
problem.
say, it is what, like you ain't even seen the price tag. You just know it's expensive. But somehow,
Right. Right.
somehow,
You're tattooing. Oh man, that could be. I don't want to pay for that.
yeah, yeah.
That's
How
weird to me. Mm.
it's hella weird. Like I think it's like a backwards mindset. And I often wonder like where we get this mindset from, like in terms of Black community especially.
Mm.
Because I mean, I've definitely had like some white people haggle, but until recently I'd have more Black people haggling, like, you should hook me up, or, things like that. And it's just like, but I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, Mo. Like,
Yeah, that's funny.
like, dog, like I put time in, like, you're gonna want me to care about your skin. You're gonna want me to
Right.
care about what I'm putting on you. But somehow you don't want to pay for even that care. Like that's mental energy. Um, but I don't think we talk about those things. And I love the way you put it in terms of handling the business first. So you get that out the way and then you can laugh, then you can have fun, then you can like just relax and enjoy the art of it, which is like tattoo is like a fusion of the two, the art and the science of business and the art of art, your best work.
Well, I don't tattoo a lot, so
Mhm.
when I do tattoo, I'm relatively excited. I'll do it. I have another job. I'm not tattooing for a living.
Mhm.
So when I do get a tattoo, I'm I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm drawing. My joy is to draw. So when I'm drawing it up for them and coming up with a concept, I'm I'm elated. So when they come, I don't I have honestly I don't want a tattoo because I'm not tattooing. So when I get the tattoo, I'm on cloud nine, to be honest with you. I haven't And the funny thing, because when I got into tattooing, is a thing. When I got into tattooing, like I said, Red was the only one tattooing in the shop. So, and I was in such a hardship. When I saw him working, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna be able to feed my family. I'm gonna be able to keep a roof over my head. I'm gonna get out this hole. I'm in a whole new city. I'm going to be able to take care of my business. And it was like a transition during that time where West End, because it was West End Tattoo, that shop was kind of like declining with clients, because you had like the City of Ink had opened, and all these like boutique, and they had like shops everywhere. They had a shop like 2-3 blocks from us they were like across the street from the mall in Atlanta, right? And it was funny because the people were going to shop, and the guy was like, oh yeah, this West, they were like, this West End, because it was in the West End. And he was like, yeah, it's the West End. So, you know, he was stealing clients like that. So when I started tattooing, like the shop, like when I started tattooing, when Red was like, he took the reins off me and said, you tattooing every day. You know, you get in the line, you in a rotation, you getting the name, so I'm working. That it wasn't like I said, it was busy. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, yes, I'm gonna eat. And when it happened, it was like, oh no, I'm not gonna eat, because the business was declining, because we weren't this end thing, you know, because you had like the City Ink, that's where everybody was going. You had all these other shops cutting us off. You had shops everywhere. You had everything going on. And the crazy thing about it, Atlanta was regulated. They almost had like a vice squad that would raid shops in Atlanta. You know, they'll come in there and they'll shut the shop down. Huh?
I heard about that.
Yeah, they'll come in and they'll shut the shop down. You'll be like, I remember there's this girl, Karen, who was tattooing. She was like part of my mentorship too. And Karen was literally tattooing. She didn't have her ID on her. So they came in, shut it down. She in the middle of the tattoo. They like, stop. Everybody. And the client's like, what? They're like, no tattooing. We want everybody to pull out y'all. If you tattooing, we want to see y'all IDs. And Karen didn't have a, an ID. So she had to leave the shop and go in her car and get her ID. Man, and they would like say they stopped at the City of Ink first. Maya would call Red like, look, man, they out here busting everybody. So Red would be like, look, everybody got your ID, So that's what I'm saying. We couldn't even tattoo till we got permits, like even in our apprenticeship. So we had to be licensed tattoo artists, even in our apprenticeships, to tattoo in Atlanta at the time. I don't know what they're doing now. But like I said, I didn't have a lot of living in tattooing to be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, because like I said, the decline was going on. Then it was in the beginning of me learning too. So that slowed me down. Gotcha. So this is like, what I realized in tattooing is you got to tattoo to know how to tattoo. You could draw all day. Your artwork can be superb, but if you're not tattooing, you can, they're not gonna, because it's almost like this. If your artwork up here, you need to be tattooing every day for it to get like this, and it start doing this. So if I'm drawing every day and I'm only tattooing every now and then, this is going on. So it's gonna take a minute for this to catch up. So that's where I was, because the shot was slow. We had like 3-4 artists, and I was only allowed to do names. So if you got, and I just make, like, you got a grown man with more, and he's a tattoo artist, he's taking the name, he want the names too. But if the shop busy, like, oh, give all the names to Jabari. He needs some tattooing, And I know I got a 3-hour piece. Everybody, they all getting the big work, and I'm getting the names. So, I'm getting my reps up, and I'm pulling my lines, and my lines getting clean, but no, my lines staying shaky for a long time. Confidence, not really building either, because you got a tattoo for your confidence to build. You got to put in your reps for all that to kind of get up there. And if it's not happening, you kind of stagnant. So that's where I was. So when to fast forward to now, I don't have, honestly, I don't have that to answer your question. That at the moment, I don't have that. I'm excited to tattoo. When I get somebody, I just want it to be something nice. I want them to want something nice. I don't want them to want no junk, like bull crap. That don't mean nothing. But if it means, if it don't mean anything, love, if it don't mean anything, let it be something nice, you know.
Yeah, like actually get like good body art.
Right, you know, collect art,
Don't get no
don't
crap
think,
art just because you just wanted a tattoo and it's just like
right.
no, I get it.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. And then, but you'll do it though. I've done those tattoos, and that's what I'm kind of like.
That I was just like, why the fuck you even get this bitch a chance? Like, what the fuck? So yeah, so I have my aggressive streaks. I tried to pull it out with her because my apprentice not black. So I literally tried to pull it out with her.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's what the tattoo art, what the industry needs, because she saw it as, oh, she just cares. It's just tough love. And I was
Right.
like, most people would shy away from this in apprenticeship, like, oh, she talked to me this way. I'd be looking online where like apprentices now are like, my apprentice are expecting me to do like 1,000 Friday the 13th tattoos with no break. What did you expect tattoo to be? Like
Right, you want a tattoo? Man, I would
what
have
is our
loved that.
Christmas day? Like, what are you talking about?
Man, I would have loved to do that. Man, let me tell you, because I was, me and this guy Carlos were tattooing, like with apprenticing with Raves. So this is how he did it. We only could tattoo because the shop was closed Sunday and Monday. So we only tattoo on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we had to alternate. And it was one tattoo that day, and it had to be free. So it was like I was only doing 2 tattoos a week. He was doing 1 tattoo a week because we couldn't, no, and Friday. So we were both doing 2 tattoos a week. We couldn't have anybody there on Saturdays. So you're doing 2 tattoos a week. You're not getting better at all. You're doing nothing. Literally doing 1 tattoo, doing 2 tattoos a week is nothing. So just imagine you sharing that time with somebody else. You're not, man, that's, Lord, you talk about being stagnant. That's when I had discovered the fake skin. Like I started doing that because my hands it was crazy. I like the 1-inch grip. And no, it was the smaller grips. And I couldn't, the machine was so heavy. So my hands would get worn out. So I'm like, man, why are my hands hurting? And I can't hold the thing. So I need the tattoo. So I just got the face skin and I would tattoo. You get bored just doing it, but so I had to do that I would do that during the downtime to build my muscle, just to and work. But it still was different than tattooing on skin. Man, a tattoo 100 tattoo, man, I would have loved that.
And
That would have been heaven.
I've had to leave Twitter for a little while because it'll be like apprentices whining coming across my dash. So I'll go to Charity and literally be like, hey, so I read this, and she's just like, they not serious. And I'm like, you are what the tattoo industry needs.
They getting it easy though, but it's not, it's different. You got different type of people. Then you got to think about it. Like you have more of like Ray was more old school biker, that he come up under biker tattooing.
I miss that life. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's like that hard mentality. Then he's training like let's say a softer, more nerdy, a guy who was an artist. So then they'll be, and I'm just saying not him, but just that era. So those guys start training. So they're more soft, as far as like just not in your face type of person. And then they're getting like people that are more inclined to them. So you're getting a different type of apprentice now. You're getting a different type of artist now.
Yeah.
It ain't just these rough people, these big old, like.
Yeah.
There's a whole different.
I feel like there should be a balance in there, but that's just me personally. Like I feel like tattoo, again, it's in a special place. So I do feel like there's a type of roughness that has to occur in tattoo. First of all, it's a degenerate sport. So it's bikers, it's people who already don't feel like they fit in other places. You know what I mean? And it's a bunch of hurt people. Like people are using tattoo again as a means to an end. So at the end of the day, they're already either healing from or escaping something in the first place. So it's just there's a particular roughness, I think, that happens in tattoo, but I understand the softer side of it too, especially for like mental wellness, being able to deal with it long term. But I'm just like, at least your first 5 years, suck it up, buttercup. Like, like it is what it is, you know. If you sit around for a particular type of abuse, then after a while, I'm going to say you may have just okayed this. But you know, certain things, yeah, that just aren't warranted, and you still was just like, yeah, I'm just going to be there, then I don't know what to tell you. But other things in terms of tattoo, you know, I got customers and they won't let me do my style because it's not about you your first 5 years. Like it's
Oh
literally
no,
about learning the art. Like fuck your style.
right. Your style ain't shit right now, man.
Right. Like
You gotta
what?
learn how to
Like,
tattoo first.
how are you coming in just like, yeah, I only tattoo this style? Like you might be pigeonholing yourself because what happens when somebody comes in and they want a name?
People are doing that though. That's
Yeah.
because you'll see this is what I do, and they're like, damn, they just been tattooing that long. Because I wasn't shit. Like people are like, how long you been tattooing? And my first answer was like, what, tattooing good? Because when I first started, that shit horrible, man. I don't even want to see any of the tattoos I first. I'd be like, oh Lord,
Oh
no.
Lord.
Man, you did this. No, I didn't. If people, because I don't remember the faces. Like, you're like, you remember me? I'm like, no. And like, you did my tattoo. And then if they show me the tattoo, then I'll remember. Like, oh, all right, yeah, I
Mhm.
did that. And when I see like those names, like, oh God, I be like, oh Lord. I damn near be wanting to do it for free. Let me do a cover, but I'm not doing it. Like
Like,
I'll
I'll do
cover
it
it up,
for
but
like this extra discount. Just let me flex right quick.
right, I'll cover it up. I give you a discount, but I'm not, I've been
Yeah.
wanting to say it, but like, nah, no, we're
Nope.
not
I
gonna do
got
that.
two horrible tattoos out from when I first started. One of them is an eye of raw, and it's
Mhm.
just the outline. I didn't even get to shade it because it's literally my very first tattoo on skin. And I had been practicing on pig feet. And Chris had already told me, like, before you tattoo anybody else, you have to tattoo yourself first. And I was like,
Mhm.
all right, cool. So my homeboy came in and he was like, I want a tattoo right now. I want this. And I was just like, Chris not gonna let me do it because I haven't tattooed myself first. So I'm gonna go back there. And I confidently asked, like, you know, he wants me to tattoo this. And Chris was like, I think you could do it. Go ahead. And I was just like, no, that's not what you're supposed to
Set you
say.
up. Chris set you
So
up.
like, it's like the lines aren't wobbly, but they're definitely
Mhm.
wobbly. What was more important or what was more traumatizing about the day was the level of sweat in my glove.
All your nerves, huh?
Being so nervous. Like literally, it was
No,
like
no.
I couldn't even get the gloves off. So the reason we never went to shading was because my hands were so wet that I couldn't get more gloves back on, even with like baby powders. Like it was just not.
No, I used to when I couldn't, I had to go to the bathroom. I had to make sure everything was out of me to do a tattoo. I couldn't, it would be time to tattoo. I said, oh, I gotta go pee. But and I think about that now because it's like I can sit up there for hours and tattoo and hold it and won't budge. I
Hmm.
can sit up there. And you're like, man, you could just go on. I'm like, yeah, I could go as long as you could take it. And like soon as I'm done, I clean up and then I gotta go to the bathroom. Like,
That's
man, I've
me.
been holding this all this time.
That's
Like,
me.
man,
Like as soon as I
it's hard.
stand up to like thank my customer, my body is just like, fuck this, thank you. Go to the bathroom.
Right. Like, man, you just been. But at first, man, I couldn't, man. Everything had to be out of me. I couldn't, nothing else.
Man. Oh man. I think
That's crazy.
I had a recent, was it last year? I think it was last year, year before last. I have a customer, Charlie. And I love him to pieces because he knew about me and panic attacks. But this will be the first time I had to get like a whole panic attack up out of me before before tattooing a customer. So I literally let him know. And he was traveling in, mind you. So it wasn't no reschedule option. Like it was literally
Right.
just like, we're here now. And he came in and he was like, how are you black and you look paler than me? And he's a white dude. And I was like, you really coming for me though? Like, what are we doing? So I was like, something triggered. I can't really talk about it because I'm trying to hold on to this panic attack. But if I had a panic attack, I just need you to trust me that I'll probably be just fine. Like I'll need some minutes, but we'll be able to tattoo. And he was like, nah, it's cool. And I was just like, I don't believe this shit. But literally, I left out to go to the bathroom, had a panic attack as soon as I hit the threshold of the studio, like literally, like crossed over this threshold, fell on the ground, panicking, hyperventilating, everything. Um, and then I think maybe like we started like an hour later.
Yeah.
And that was the best tattoo session that we have ever had. Not, I was mute because when I panic, like if it's especially if it's a harsh panic, my voice will go away. So I couldn't talk at all. All I could, I had I had to treat it like I was talking to a deaf client. So had like an envelope next to me and I was able to doodle everything, like talk to him like on paper and stuff. And he would just reply. He's like, I don't really want to write it down. I was like, no, that's fine. But I'm writing like, no, that's fine.
Right.
Stuff, but literally probably like one of the best sessions. It was like the most creative session. I was totally in my head. He was making jokes about my panic attack and I was just like, this couldn't be any better. Like this is great. Like I think he had made like jokes about me being mute. He had started reminding me of one of the there's a reel we have where me and my best friend are playing like we were doing like something from Legend of Zelda, and the main character Link, he doesn't talk. So she was Navi. She's like Navi, Navi. She's like Link, Link, and I couldn't talk. And I'm like, so he was like, he pulled that out, and he just started like yelling at me, like without his voice coming out, and he was just like, I hate you so much. But it was probably one of the best sessions, and I was like, there might be something to getting, like getting stuff about you. I've never just had to go to I try to go to the bathroom before because I know what's going to happen after because I forget because, just being drawn into the tattoo and just enjoying what you're doing type of deal. So I already know by the end of the tattoo, my body's going to be like, you should go pee.
Right.
So I try and go before, but even that sometimes is like in the middle of the tattoo, I'm like, oh shoot, I should stop at some point and go to the bathroom. My body's telling, and then I forget all over again. And then
Yeah, I'm like, man. But sometimes I guess your body, if you don't have to go, you're just sitting around and you just gotta go. But that's good that you had a client that was very understanding. That's when they feel you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
make you appreciate them too. It's like you're not
yeah,
judging.
yeah, definitely. It's like, oh, you see me as a human, not just as like a tattoo machine. I thank you.
No, I had one of my bad tattoos. I didn't know it was a bad tattoo until she came back after a year. I had did this tattoo and the whole thing keloid on this girl. And I was, Red was like, look at this. And look, this that mean red thing. He said, man, come here. Cause I think I was in the bathroom. I had went somewhere. He said, come here. He said, look at this. You did this. And I mean,
I
the
can hear
girl
Red.
huh?
I said I could hear Red saying that too.
Yeah, he's like, look at this. And I'm looking at it, right? And he was like, you did this. And it was just so horrible. And I was like, I was trying to, at the time, trying to figure out, well, what can I do to fix it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to go set up. He said, you're not doing that. So the other guy, fix this. So, like, and that was like a bad feeling, like,
Yeah.
damn, because I think the girl didn't want me to touch her no more,
Yeah.
And Red was I guess disappointed and angry at the same time because he had to give away a tattoo, to fix it. So no money was made off of this, But I mean, that's just a learning experience. And I got like, I guess I dug into that. So I would try to be light-handed. That's funny because people be like,